Hello and welcome. I am Angelina and I am going to do a reading for a specific collective. I am lighting my sage to cleanse the room and the deck. So, not quite sure what the message is going to be. I'm feeling the energy of a very large mission, very important mission. If you resonate with having a large mission in this lifetime, maybe this message is for you. Cleanse the energy of this deck, cleanse the energy of this deck, cleanse the energy of this deck. I am going to connect. I did connect already, and I'm going to draw in. And as always, shuffle 3 times. You got Death and King of Pentacles. Yep, that's the energy I'm feeling. I woke up this morning feeling the energy of the 0 card. It's been the energy all day. I did a wonderful, absolutely wonderful guided meditation that really helped. I can't even tell you how amazing I felt after. Okay, so I'm going to cleanse the energy area. Just to make sure, because what I'm feeling in this energy, I wouldn't be surprised if something interesting came out. Something on my, there we go. It's still there. Doesn't want to come off. Okay, so. Okay, so let's find out what is the current energy for the collective. We got 7 of Pentacles. What else is in this current energy? The harvest is coming. This is actually really interesting because I had this conversation yesterday. I was actually talking to somebody earlier, and I was talking about the particular stages. So, it was this morning. At this point, you are like, you've got a few beans on your bean plants, right? And they're probably about this big, which you could harvest and make beans. But if you wait 1 more week, those beans are going to be this big, and you can get twice as many beans, right? So it is coming. The harvest is here, but it's not quite big yet. So let's see what else. Ace of Cups. Okay. Like I said, the harvest is here. Can't get more clear than that. This is the Ace of Cups. Your gift is coming. And let's find out why. What led to being in this energy? What led to being in this energy? I feel like it's been a lot of patience, a lot of self-work, a lot of growth. But let's see what the cards say. What is it that led to this energy. We had this card come out yesterday too. Both these cards came out yesterday when I did the live. Okay, so I was watching one of my favorite channels earlier, Action Figure Therapy. I am a vet, and so if you've never seen Action Figure Therapy, it's a fairly old channel. The videos I was watching were like 14 years old, and I've seen them like a million times. Specifically, this one is the Best Buy one, where Jungle Recon, yeah, G.I. Joe, Jungle Recon starts a fight in the Best Buy, but the song that he's like yelling while he's like fighting is "The wheels in the sky keep on turning," and this is the energy that I'm feeling. The wheel of fortune, the wheels in the sky keep on turning. Ride the wave, and it feels like you've had a few false starts, maybe. Oh wow, an Empress in the reverse is the reason why. So let's find out more about this Empress in reverse. What happened with this Empress in the reverse? Libra energy. Doesn't have to be. What happened with this Empress in the reverse that led to the abundance in the current? What happened with this Empress in the reverse? The Empress in reverse came out yesterday too. And one of the things that popped out to me most was the fact that she's holding that lotus flower next to her head. Like, she doesn't really have an open crown chakra, but she was pretending. Like, there's something very, like, mask, like, a lot of mask. Like, maybe somebody was pretending to be something they weren't. Oh, but like really. Yeah, okay, so the truth came out about this Empress in the reverse. Yeah, the truth came out about this Empress in the reverse. Her mask fell. This could be karmic. It could be just a liar. Just a liar. I feel this may be the same energy I picked up on yesterday, which if it is, okay, the Princess of Swords and then the High Priestess. So I feel like the truth came out because of the High Priestess, the Moon in the reverse. Yeah, the shadows are being revealed. The Hangman. Okay, so what was the truth about this Empress? What's the truth about this Empress that's come out? What was revealed? I'm wondering, so on this Ace of Swords is a crown, right? And under, like on either side of the crown, there are branches. There are two different branches. One looks like a type of pine, an evergreen. I haven't the slightest clue what the other one is. I wonder if it says in the book. The book sometimes tells you the imagery, and it might tell you, or might tell me like what is hanging from it. It's actually laurels. Yeah. Okay. So laurel wreath is a sign of victory. So what happened, or what was revealed about this Empress in the reverse? What truth came out about this Empress in the reverse? The Ten of Pentacles. The Empress wanted the Ten of Pentacles. Gold digger? She pretended to be somebody that she wasn't. And the truth came out that she was a gold digger. Sorry about your luck. So interesting. There are 2 dogs in this card. This gentleman is petting one of them. That one is the darker of the 2. It looks like it's a black dog, and the other white dog is sitting there. It tells me that there are loyal people around you, and that not everybody wants the same thing. This light colored dog is sitting very patiently watching what I would assume would be their owner, their benefactor, maybe. Eight of Swords in the reverse. Might be feeling stuck. Typically, I take the bottom of the deck and the upright. So you may be feeling stuck. I want to point out one more thing, okay? So I talk about this a lot. This cup is overflowing. Now, the cups aren't necessarily material wealth. The cups are more like emotional abundance, like happiness. Like the Two of Cups is the lovers. The Ten of Cups is familial happiness. So the Pentacles, if you're unfamiliar with Tarot, the Pentacles are material wealth. So there is material wealth here, but there's also emotional abundance, happiness, joy, and this cup is overflowing. I say all the time that we cannot give until our cup overflows. Okay, so the love is overflowing, the happiness is overflowing, regardless of the fact that this Empress, I ain't saying she a gold digger. Yeah, okay. What is the, I didn't even ask yet, so I don't know if I'm going to take those or not. What is the future energy for this collective? What is the future energy for this collective? Okay, yeah. What is the future energy for this collective? What is the future energy for this collective? Future energy for this collective. Oh, look at that. The Eight of Swords came out in the reverse this time. Okay, so we've got the Hierophant and the Princess of Cups came out first. So, the Hierophant is your future energy, okay? This is I feel a high level position, but this is also important because the Princess of Cups came out, okay? This may be a more future, or this could be an energy that is coming in, and this is your energy, one of the two, okay? So this could either be future, like you have to do this and then this, But I feel like this Princess of Cups and this Hierophant are connected. The Princess of Cups has a bunch of different animals, okay? So the Princess of Cups has the dolphin. I don't know why this is not like focusing very well today. There's the dolphin, there's the swan, and there's a turtle right here, okay? So the Princess of Cups is a very, like, when I think of the Princess of Cups, I think of like, the only thing that comes to mind, really honestly, is the hills are alive with the sound of music. I want to say a free spirit that is running through the hills, singing "The Hills Are Alive." You know what I mean? Like truly, like enjoying life, living joyfully and happily. And then you have the Hierophant, which is spiritual leadership, spiritual learning, spiritual training. It's a little bit more rigid, okay? So they're not exactly the same, right? This feels more rigid, while this feels more free-flowing. But it's essentially the same thing. This feels more like a... connection to the earth, and this feels more like a connection to the higher realms, okay? So whether this is your whole energy, as in you are connected to the higher realms and you are connected to the earth, you know, living not only by the rules but also free flowing, free spirited, and free natured. They're one and the same, but different approaches, if that makes sense. And then we have the Eight of Swords in the reverse, which is, you know, when you have the Eight of Swords is you feel trapped, but the truth is that you're never really trapped, right? She's bound with duct tape. And if you've ever been bound with duct tape, it's not even like, you know, they bound it a lot. They like, you know. What I heard was really funny. I gotta go get something to drink. I'm very thirsty. Hold on. Okay, so it's really funny. This feels like some low-level bondage. Okay, here we go. So, if you get like some Japanese silk rope, but you buy it from like, I don't know, Temu or something, you get it and then it like falls apart while you're trying to use it. She's bound with like duct tape, okay? So this is in the reverse, meaning you no longer feel trapped. It's a trap. You no longer feel trapped. You found your way out, and then you found out the entire time it was all in your head. Okay, they want me to say it. What it feels like is Google magic. Like somebody tried to pretend that they were the Empress, but really they weren't, and they were, you know, using Google magic, which coming up against this Hierophant. Okay, you got Google magic coming up against this Hierophant, so it's like they didn't stand a chance. And this is actually really awesome because the particular collective that I wanted to speak to, their guides, is that high level. Not to say that, you know, there's more importance on one person's mission versus another. because it is just as important to be a kind heart as it is to be the one that topples. Everybody's important. Okay, I worked a support mission when I was in the military. And when people asked what I did, the only thing I said was, I am the spoke in the wheel that runs over the terrorist's head. Because every single part is important. However, this is for a specific collective that does, the dirty work, the missions that nobody hears about, the stuff that's done in the dark. It's not for, Joe Schmo on the corner who is being kind. Just as important, because love is so powerful that just putting love out makes a huge difference. Because you showing love can wake up another soul, right? You showing what love truly is can wake up another person. Just by being your vibrant, radiant self. This is just as important, because the more people that awaken, the more, like I did a video earlier, the more water that is added to the collective, okay? So this is not a matter of, this is not an important mission, or this is an important mission. It's all important. This is more for the people that are dealing with high-level nonsense. But this Empress in the reverse had absolutely no idea, apparently. So the Nine of Wands came out in the reverse, okay? The Nine of Wands is the card of resilience. It's the card of, you've got this, keep going. I'm feeling the energy that it's time to rest. It's time to lay down the sword and relax for a little bit. A warrior knows when it is time to rest, because you cannot go into battle exhausted. If you cannot lift your sword, you are nothing. If you cannot protect yourself with your shield, you are vulnerable. And so therefore, there is a time to rest, and there is a time to fight. But I'm going to conserve your energy. That's exactly what I was feeling from that. You're not trapped. Stop struggling. You are the Hierophant, no matter what they throw at you. Lift your spirits. That's why the Princess of Wands is there, okay? So the Princess of Wands is there to remind you to run through a field of daisies, singing, "The hills are alive." Embrace the joy. Embrace what is coming, what is here, the emotional fulfillment. Now that you have made room, the vessel can overflow. So think of it this way. This chalice was dirtied up and mucked up by the Empress in the reverse, right? It had to be overflowed to be cleansed. So now that it is overflowed and the truth has been revealed, now you could see how dirty the chalice was. It was being passed off as pewter, but really it's not pewter, it's pure silver. But you didn't know because it was so grimy. That was a really great analogy. I liked that. Yeah. Okay. All right. right, so we have, this is what the energy, this is future energy, how we get into this energy right here. This is the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This is telling me cut off the Empress. That just says right there, cut off the Empress. Know when it is time to give and when it is time to stop giving. The Six of Pentacles, you see her, she has a scales in one hand, and she is giving to she's giving to one of the beggars. There's two beggars there. Okay, this is in the reverse. Know when it is time to give and when it is time to cut off. And at this point, this is what the guys are saying. Oh, I have no idea who that is. Well, that was very lovely. That was my big brother. He brought me a bed for my daughter, and I totally forgot he was coming over. I have a funny memory. Okay, so back to this energy. Okay, so yeah, this is an absolute, like, know when it is time to give and when it is time to cut people off. You have the ability to know, or maybe you're learning. Yeah, you're starting to learn when it is that people are deserving and undeserving. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a way of, is this person open to receiving, or is this person taking from me? Okay, is this something that I am willing to give? Is it something that I'm giving from overflow, or is it something that they're seeing with greedy eyes? Okay. All right. Okay, what is the current energy? Let's go back to the current energy. What is the current energy for this collective? Ooh. We have the Five of Swords. Okay, so I feel like this isn't you that was defeated, but we're going to get that clarified, okay? So we are going to clarify who was defeated. Who was defeated? Okay, so in this particular image, there is two people that look butthurt in the background, and their two swords are on the ground, and the victor has three swords. It also looks like there's some massive destruction in the background, or that could be mountains in the distance. But I'm feeling like this was a massive, like, kind of feels like a tower moment. Who was defeated? Oh, 3 came out. Okay. So we have the Fool in the reverse, which the Fool doesn't necessarily always just mean new beginnings. This means innocence too, okay? So maybe this is naivety. Naivety was defeated. Now, the naive isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it can not necessarily be a good thing too, because if you go into okay, so the opposite of naivety would be cynicism, right? So if we are talking about like a dialectic, I love dialectical behavioral therapy because it explains some things, okay? So if we're looking at a dialectic, the dialectic are two totally opposite things, okay? And one of the things I used to do with my clients that worked well with dialectical behavioral therapy was we would stand on opposite ends of the office, and they would be cynicism and I would be naivety. And I would say take one step forward. What is one step away from being completely cynical? And they would give me their answer. And then I would take one step forward and I say, okay, what is one step away from naivety? So I believe, and this is something we talk about all the time, is balance, okay? So the Justice card is also here, okay? And then we also have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is basically taking control of your destiny. You have chosen your path. You have created, you're making plans, okay? So this Fool card in the reverse doesn't necessarily mean that your new beginning is not coming. And it's so crazy that the Fool card did come out, because I've been feeling this energy all day, but this seeing in the reverse is interesting. So the defeat of the naivety, however you want to say it, it has led to choosing the path which is bringing justice, okay? So, all right. You are no longer the fool, is what I hear. You are no longer the fool. You cannot be fooled any longer. You have defeated that, and that made you be like, okay, well, this is me. I am choosing my own destiny. And this brings in the justice. So yeah, okay. So what led to what led to this energy? 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 Tower on the bottom. Oh, wow. So this was on the bottom, and I saw it, and I was like, okay. So somebody feels like they've been left out in the cold, and it might very well be this Empress. So I am feeling that's what led to the that's what led to the death of the Fool. Can we get a clarification on that Five of Pentacles? What led to this Five of Swords energy? Please clarify the Five of Pentacles. Clarify the Five of Pentacles. Okay. I'm drawn to the fact that the Five of Pentacles is Taurus, and that the second sign on the Empress is also Taurus. The Empress is also Libra, and Justice is Libra. I'm sorry, that's not, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, so we've got another five here. This time it's the Five of Cups. So this being left out in the cold financially led to a loss of fulfillment in pleasure. So this is the cups. Like I said, the cups are like emotional. So this imagery, okay, back here in the background, you can't really see it very well. I wish my lighting was a little better. Back here in the background is a castle, okay? So there are three cups that are turned over here. There are two cups behind this gentleman who is looking sadly at all of the wine spilt from these three cups. I am called to the fact that the Two of Cups is the love love card. So it feels like paying attention to all of the past relationships that failed is leading you to ignore love or to turn away from love. Okay? Now, again, there's the castle in the background. And this may seem really far away, but there's a bridge. Yeah, okay, so this makes sense. Okay, so this is a lot of fear of missing out, FOMO. So this fear that was created maybe by this Empress in the reverse who made you feel less than, made you feel like you didn't deserve this or that love, kept you in that position, that one that you feel trapped in. But you're not trapped anymore in the future. This is future energy. You're no longer trapped because you put a death to that naivety. You put a death to that that feeling of the loss of innocence. The loss of innocence. But this pushes you forward. This makes you more determined, and this brings you justice. Justice is a win in your favor. Okay? Yeah. Okay. What is the future energy? So I'm drawn again to the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. And I want to talk about the cutoff game. I consider myself to be a master at the cutoff game. I am an extremely generous person, and I give chance after chance after chance after chance. I am hearing the words. I am the type of person that will knowingly cuddle up to a snake in hopes that that snake will not bite me. And so, no matter how many times that snake bites me, it gets, and I will stay with that snake until the point of self-destruction. That is no longer possible for me. I have said before, I have a 3-strike rule. What's really sad is that I never stayed with that 3-strike rule. But when it came to specific things, there is one thing that I absolutely will not tolerate, and I will immediately cut a person off. Once I realize that you are taking advantage of my kindness and using my kindness against me, there is no more generosity. Lies. Lies are something I do not tolerate. Do not get me wrong. Sometimes I will believe the lie for quite a while. But when there is absolute evidence and proof that that is a lie, you no longer have me in your life. Lies are absolutely a no-go. cutoff game is the strongest. Future energy. We have another princess here. This is the Princess of the Pentacles. The Princess of the Pentacles is in the middle of the woods. The Presence of the Pentacles, the Princess of the Pentacles, is connected to nature. This is a winged ram on it. Okay. Two things. One, this stole that is around her neck is made of ivy. She is holding a pentacle in her receiving hand. And in her giving hand, she has a clear quartz crystal, which is an amplifier, on a staff. I get the energy of a fledgling. This may be your call to explore your gifts, the gifts that you have. Maybe you are only learning and understanding that you have gifts. Before I started to truly dive into like my gifts, I would practice. Well, you know, I want to be able to do this, so I'm going to try. And I would try and try and try. And, you know, sometimes it didn't work. But there were some times that I was surprised and found out that it did work. And now, like, I know the things that I have to do in order for certain gifts to work and certain gifts not to work. Well, not to work, but how to tap into specific gifts. I'm still learning. Look at that, 10 of Cups on the bottom. 10 of Cups is in your energy, whether it be now or in the future. It's there. Okay, so how do we get into this Princess of Pentacles energy? What is the advice for the collective? What do they need to do to be able to fulfill this energy, to get into this energy? I'm feeling grounding. When was the last time you took a walk in the woods? 6 of Wands. When was the last time you took a walk in the woods? All right, we've got the Hangman in the reverse. You are no longer stuck. You realize, well, you will no longer be stuck. You've realized, been waiting for nothing. Because everything that you thought you wanted, everything that you thought you had was a lie, and it was keeping you in this position. And now that you're like, no, death to the fool. Now you're no longer stuck. Okay, so getting out of that stuck position, getting out of that. Be aware of snakes. Not everybody is telling the truth. Any other advice for the future energy? I feel like we've got enough of the current energies. Is there any other advice for the future energy? What else do they need to know about the future energy? looking at the time because I want to go live in an hour. I've got more people coming over this evening. Okay, apparently there's nothing else in this energy. Fly on me or something. Future energy. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, the tables have turned. That's what this justice is bringing. The justice is going on right now. And once the justice has been fulfilled, the Wheel of Fortune will be in your favor. This is future energy, okay? No idea how long. I didn't put a time limit on this. But remember that time is a concept that is intentionally designed to drive us crazy. I know that sounds like, crazy, but it really is. Think about it. Like if you are sitting there and watching the clock, I swear to you, I have watched them tick backwards. I swear to you. Watch pot never boils, right? 10 of Wands and King of Pentacles energy. So I hope this has been enlightening for you. The gold digger has revealed herself. She was a fake. The truth has come out. And now that it has come out, kind of made you feel like 555 is there, by the way. Change is coming. Change is here. And then we have 1-1. See 1-1. Oh, there's actually 4 5s out here. So pay attention to the 5s. You see 5, 5, 5, or 5, 5, or 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Just pay attention. That could be a sign that this message is for you. Have a good one, guys.